Hey, how y'all doing? Just waiting on my Corvid test. I might got the vid. Probably not, but just, play it safe. I was around somebody that has it, and now my son's been sick this week, so just playing it safe. But anyways, on my drive over here, been ranting in my own brain with myself, and I figured I'd share my thoughts on like this whole controversy about vaccine passports and mandatory vaccines and stuff. And it just got me thinking about, and this, I'm not the first person to bring this up, but just like the fact that I think it's something like only 29%, or I don't know, it's pretty low, of the African American community is vaccinated or is pro-vaccine or whatever. Basically just saying like Black people in America are not getting the vaccine for various reasons. And what that would mean, if you're mandating it, if you're mandating the vaccine, or if you're mandating vaccine passports, how that is going to, once again, disproportionately affect minorities in the United States. And it's not something that Democrats are talking about whatsoever. And in my head, I automatically think about, show me your papers. That sounds a whole lot like show me your ID to vote. And this might piss some people off, but I'm just telling you, like, pretty sure this is a fact that you can check for yourself. But there have been very recent studies, even studies that have been shared and written about by Vox, which is a pretty liberal media source. There's been multiple studies in the last 5 years at least on voter ID laws and how they impact or don't impact voter turnout. And yeah, pretty much the last couple things that I read about it is that there's no evidence of any real impact of voter ID laws, whether it be keeping Black people from voting or preventing fraud. Like, there's no proof that it does either one of those things. What there is evidence of that you can easily find is the way that the science community and the healthcare community have a lot of different racial disparities, especially when it comes to Black females in the United States. So yeah, I don't know. You can look all this stuff up for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But the point is, I don't understand why the left is running with this, fear mongering about racism and calling shit Jim Crow because you want a voter ID. You want somebody to have an ID to vote when there's literally no scientific evidence and it's been studied multiple times very recently. There's no evidence to support that's actually has any type of racial implications in modern America. Like, sure, I'm not arguing that it was never racist or that it never had any kind of racial, there was no racial outcomes in the past, in the 1950s or whenever it started, but that's not true today. And on the contrary, they're pushing to have vaccine passports. You got Don Lemon, getting on TV and saying, you can't go, you shouldn't be able to go to the store, you shouldn't be able to fly on a plane, you shouldn't be able to do this, shouldn't be able to do that if you don't have a vaccine and you don't have a vaccine passport to prove it. You're going to be segregating minorities more than anybody else. So I don't know. Somebody explain that to me.